Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you guys are at. Welcome to my live coding session. Today is October 12th, 2019. This is the Typhoon Hagibis edition. There is a typhoon barreling towards Tokyo. Let's see, I think I have a little, I can show you what's going on here a little bit. This is the center of the typhoon right now, or as of, I guess, maybe an hour or two ago. Let's see if this is updated. To reload that. Yeah, as of an hour ago, this is the eye of the hurricane. I live right around here somewhere. So it's going to be, yeah, basically passing right through. It's a pretty big one, apparently, and so hopefully we won't get knocked off the internet until this is finished. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that. So anyway, yeah, thanks to everybody who's joining. Appreciate you stopping by. And yeah, so hi to what we got here, Lalit, we got Anubis, and we've got Jazlu. And if I'm mispronouncing something, I'll apologize now. Anyway, before we begin, if anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot them out. But what I thought I'd do today is try to do live coding with the game Flappy Bird. Or at least something similar enough that it looks like Flappy Bird. This was a request from a viewer. I thought, that's a pretty cool idea. So for this project, I'll be using the Python Turtle Graphics module to give us some graphical capability. I'm not using Pygame. I get that question a lot, like, why don't you use Pygame? Pygame's awesome. It's amazing. But I feel two reasons. The Turtle Graphics module, I think, is a little bit easier to wrap your head around as a beginner and high-end hacking. And Anubis, yes, this live will save. You'll be able to watch it later. So Pygame is a bit more complex, and you have to install it. The Turtle module, generally speaking, comes with Python, so you shouldn't have anything that you need to install. So again, for beginners, it kind of helps you get over that initial hump. So yeah, so let's give it a shot. Let's see what we can do. And again, might not be able to do it. I have a few ideas, but I haven't actually coded this before. So the first thing I did to prepare for this was I actually went to flappybird.io and tried to remember how the game works. So we got our little bird here. Now, I'm not going to have any fancy animations. Yep, Pygame is very cool, but yeah, I don't think we'll have any fancy animations. I'm just going to use the space bar, and we got a score up here. We got some pipes moving, and as you can see, I am not very good at this game. You can see that the window is vertically taller than it is wider. It's not quite square. It's a rectangle. So I want to get started. I'm going to go ahead and try to build the screen and just get started and start putting things up on the screen where we can use them. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be using the Turtle module. So I need to import Turtle, and that will let us use the Turtle module. By the way, just so people often ask, I am currently using Ubuntu Linux 1904. This will work on Windows. This will work on Mac. And the program editor that I'm using is called Genie. I think it's only on Linux, but usually on Windows, or, well, I don't really use Windows, but on Apple, at least, Mac, when I have to use it, I use Visual Studio Code. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Pygame 0 is definitely cool. It's a nice abstraction from Pygame. Yeah, so first thing I need to do is I need to create the little game window. And by the way, over here I have the Turtle Graphics documentation, and this is always good to have handy because I'm sure there's gonna be things I need to look up. You know, like, beginners often think, oh, if I just code enough, I'll know everything that I need to know. But yeah, I don't think that's really the way it works. You may know a lot, but there's always things you need to look up. You can't possibly memorize it all. At least I cannot. So Coburnaminates. Basically, about half of them. I do a ton of turtle stuff. Just take a look at my channel. There's all kinds of tutorials for the turtle. And I'm going to do some turtle stuff right now if you want to follow along. So I'm going to go ahead and import turtle, and then I need to create the window. So I'm going to type win, and this gives me just a name to my window, equals turtle.screen. Okay. Now, if you are in Python 2, this will not work. You've got to type, I think it's turtle dot I think it's turtle.getScreen, screen or getScreen. I'm not 100% sure. Something like that. But on Python 3 it is turtle.screen. Okay. So now I'm going to put a title to my screen. Yeah, arcade library is very cool as well. Win title. Called Flappy Bird. By at Tokyo EdTech. That's kind of my online nickname. You can catch me on Twitter if you're a Twitterer. And I'm going to say win dot color. I'm going to set the background color to blue for it's BG color and blue. And the next thing I got to figure out is how to change the size of the window, and I actually don't know how to do that. Yeah, this stream will be automatically saved to my channel. So once I'm done, it will be available forever. So Coburn nominates. How often do I do this? You know, a couple times a week now. I just started doing it last week, Lollet, and I've really enjoyed doing it. Sometimes I have more time than others, so it's really hit or miss right now. So I need to figure out how to change the size of the screen, and I'm pretty sure it's under, let's see, screen size. Could that be it? I think that's what we wanted. Screen size. So let's try win.screen size. And as we mentioned, it was a little bit wider, or a little bit taller than it is wider. So let's try 300 and 400. Okay. And then way down here at the bottom, the last line of my program is going to be, yeah, thanks, Jazlu. I'm American. I will spell it the American way. You put win.main loop. I'm going to save it. I'm going to try and run it and see what happens. No worries, Anubis. I know it's a great big world, and we're all in different time zones. Okay, so here is my screen, and I don't know if that actually changed the screen size. It doesn't seem like it did. So let's see here. Let me try and make that a little smaller and see what happens. 200 by 300. Yeah, I don't really feel like that did a lot. Yeah, no, that did not change the screen size. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board here a little bit and see if I can find, I think there's a setup method. Control find setup. Aha, setup. There we go. Screen.setup. Okay, that's what I wanted. Copy and paste it over here. So remember the screen, I called it WN. So I could have called it screen, but I read a tutorial years ago and used WN, so I've been using that ever since. So I'm gonna try 250 by 400 because I don't really know the height ratio. So see if that gives us what we want, and play around with that a little bit. Oh my gosh, that is nice, but it's really small. So I'm gonna double everything. Try 500, and I'll make it 800 in height. Okay, well that's usable. I think we can work with that. We put our bird here and have the stuff moving over. Let's go with that. Okay, so I've got my window. I've got my turtle. I got a place that I can put my turtles and my objects on the screen. So let's stick with that. And let's go here. So first thing I need to do is I need to create my little bird. Now I can call it player. I can say player equals, and let's do that. That probably makes it easy. Turtle.turtle, and notice it's a capital T, and that's a small t. So I'm saying that my player is a turtle object, and I'm going to type player.speed 0. Okay, that's not the movement speed. It is the animation speed. By default, the turtle module kind of moves things slowly so you can see them. I could use BGPick, yes, making 0. I could do that. I don't have a background right now, but I could. So if we have time later, maybe we'll throw something in there. But, you know, again, beginners always want to rush in and make sure that everything is, it's looking great. But what we're going to do is we're going to do it just like with primitive shapes. and just get the basic bare bones game functioning. Once you do that, adding images and background images and noises and sounds is very, very easy. But getting the game working, that's the hard part. Okay, so I'm going to set my player.speed to 0. Say player.color, I'm going to try yellow, see what happens there. And I'm going to say player.shape, and I'm going to use, I'll use a turtle here just to make it, just for fun. And let's see what else do I got to do here. I got to move it somewhere. So player.goto, and the player is going to start, let's see, here we got this here. So 0, 0 is in the middle, so minus, I don't know, we'll try minus 200, comma 0. And let me run that. See what we got here so far. Okay, well, that's okay, that's kind of what I want. I kind of want my player here. Notice this line, I forgot about that. The turtle, by default, draws this line. So let's get rid of that. And to do that, we put the player.pen up. Okay. And the other thing I want to do is I want to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to stretch. Turtle dot, where is it? There's a method to resize the turtle. Is it resize? Aha. There you go. So turtle.shape size. This is the one I want. Now I'm not going to need this later, but for now let's use that once we switch to images. So I'm going to say my player.shape size. So what I want, what I want to do is make it 60 by 60. So the default is 20 by 20. So I have to make it 3 times as big. So the width is 3 times 20, and the height is 3 times 20. And making 0, you are very welcome. Thanks so much for following along. I appreciate it. Volume's quiet. Thank you. I will change that right now. Okay, so now, right now it's pretty much at the maximum volume. Hopefully that's enough. And I'm a little worried because it's raining here. It's raining pretty hard, and you might start hearing wind noises and that sort of thing. But we'll go along as we can. Okay, so I'm going to test this, and I got an error. Oh, I got the little paragraph thing at the end, and we don't need that. Save and run. Okay. Well, maybe it's a little bigger than it needs to be. But anyway, let's go with that for now. We can play with that. Okay, so the thing we want to do. The first thing I want to get working is I want the turtle to go up and down. So let's just get that taken care of. That's pretty straightforward. And to do that, we have to do a little bit or know a little bit about physics. Okay, physics are very, very important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a couple of different variables here. I'm going to say what player.dx 0 and player.dy equals 0. Now dx and dy means the change in x and the change in y. I'll explain that in a second. Lalit, you are very welcome. Very happy to have helped out. Yeah, thanks. And making zebra, yes, we're going to be adding gravity here in a moment. So Jazlu, it's not letting me run my program. So if you're having trouble running your program, okay, well, you'll see. Gravity is not dx. I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so go to pastebin.com, and what you can do here is you can choose Python. Okay, and you paste your code here. So Control A, copy, paste your code. Okay, and then basically you go ahead and create a paste. Okay. Now I have an account, that's why it looks a little bit. It might look a little different for you. But what you want to do is you want to give it a title. So let me say I'll jazlu.py, and then create new paste. And then there'll be a link here put that link in the chat. I will take a look and see if I can help you get your program running. Okay. Otherwise, I can't help you if I don't see the code. It's just kind of a, yeah, there's nothing I can do about that one. Okay. So anyway, so we are back to, where were we? We want to make the turtle move up and down. So a couple things we need to do here. So I'm going to put my main game loop. Okay. I'm going to use something called while true. Okay. And what this does is whatever section of code is indented, it will run it forever and ever and ever. Now, if you're using PyCharm, you might see an error, and it says wn.main loop code can't be reached or something like that. That's because unless this ends, you can't get to this code. You can ignore that message. It doesn't matter. It's just warning you, so you know. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to write it out carefully. I'm going to say move player. So let's say we want to make our dy 1. Okay. So I'm going to say y equals player.ycore. This tells me where the player is right now. And the player starts out at 0. Okay. So then to move, say y plus equals player.dy. So dy is the... okay, yeah, it's not real time. Sorry about that. I don't think I can fix that one, so unfortunately. But if anybody knows, let me know. Oh, here's the thing where I can do low latency and ultra low latency. Maybe next time. So, yeah. So player y plus equals dy. So if I'm at 0, and then I add 1 to 0, I'm at 1. So it should move up the screen. And I say player.set y, y. Now, if you've been programming for a while, you understand I could put all of this into one line, but I really want it to explain it very clearly how that's going to work. So we get the current y coordinate. We add the dy. dy is basically the speed, the vertical speed, and we have a horizontal speed. But of course, in Flappy Bird, it doesn't move left and right, so this is always going to be 0. And then we set the player's y coordinate to the new y. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. Oops, and there she goes. And there goes my little turtle up off the screen, flying off. Okay, so we know that part works, which is good. Okay. But obviously, that's not how things move in the real world. So, as Making Zebra said, this is not the, how can I put it? Making Zebra said, yeah, we're going to use gravity. So what I'm going to do here real quick, notice I'm using 4 spaces for the indentation. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to update my GitHub, okay, for people that are just joining us. And this will take me a second. Flappy Bird. Okay, and commit changes. So basically, I know some of you are just joining and you're a little bit behind. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and give you a link to where you can download this code so far, where we're at. Okay, so yeah, John, and welcome. Good to see you again. Here is the link to the current code. Thanks. And so you can get the current code from that link. Okay, so next up, what we need to do is we need to simulate gravity. Okay, so Jazzaloo is asking for a short break here, so let me just go over this for the people that are just joining us. This is live session for October 12th, and as I mentioned, Hurricane Hagibis is kind of barreling down here on Tokyo, so hopefully things will be fine. I know there's already places that have lost their power out in the countryside. It's yeah, it's very, very heavy rain. Anywho, so we're gonna try and do like a little Flappy Bird type game, and so we've got a window, and I'm using Python 3, and we've got our player, which is a turtle, and for now I'm just going to use the turtle shape. Actually, maybe we wouldn't have to change it. That might make life easier. And I've got the player has a dx and a dy. Dx is always going to be 0 in this game. Dy is it's going to move up if dy is positive. It's going to move down if dy is negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create gravity as who was that? Who was saying that? Yeah, sorry, making zebra. So I'm going to say gravity. Now here's the hard part. We don't know what gravity is going to be. And it's going to be a little bit different on every computer. It's going to be based on how fast your computer runs, etc., etc. So we really gotta fix that. Okay, Jazlo, good to hear. And I'll let know I'm not from Australia. I'm American. So the gravity. Let's see. We can either set it positive or negative. Let's set it negative. I'm going to try 0.01. Okay. So what we have to do is, and this is physics. If you're not familiar with the physics of it, don't worry. Just trust me on this one. So what gravity does is it changes this number. Okay. So dy is positive, so that means it's going to move up in each case. But what happens is when this becomes negative, it starts to move down. So let's give it a shot. I'm kind of curious if this is going to work or not. And okay, it's going up, going up. Oh, I forgot to put the code in there. Duh. So player.dy plus equals gravity. So notice gravity is negative. So the first loop, it's going to be 1. Second loop is going to be 0.99, then 0.98, 0.97, etc., etc. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. And so you can see it's going up. Oh, now it's falling. It's falling faster, 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 and off the screen. Okay. So I think that probably wasn't enough. Well, let me do one other thing here, because this is we should probably do this sooner rather than later. Up here, and this is really, really important, so pay attention to this. Right now, the screen is updating at kind of, I shouldn't say random times, but it's updating like at specific times determined by the program. We need to control that. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to put win.tracer 0. And what that does is it shuts down all of the screen updates. So if I ran the program now, you would see no changes. You would see basically nothing. What we need to do is inside our while true loop is update the screen. To do that, we use win.update. Okay. So you can't miss these two lines. If you do, nothing's going to work. So wintracer.0 after you set everything up, and then win.update inside this while true loop. So I'm going to run it, and it's probably going to fall off the screen really fast. Yeah. Yeah, it's too fast for me even to show you. So this number we might have to change to like 001 because the program has just been sped up immensely. Now, an alternative to this, what we could do, let's try that, see if that works for us or not. We can say import time, and then what we'll do down here at our loop is say pause briefly. I'm going to say time.sleep 0.03 02. Yeah, that should give us about 30 frames a second, I think. Okay, let's try that. That's a little better. Okay, so we can work with that. But we might want to make this a little bit bigger now. So it's just you just really got to play with the numbers so that it works on your computer. Okay. Okay, well I fell off the screen. But unfortunately, I've got two screens and it always shows it on the main screen, which is very annoying. I wish it would show it on the other screen. But anyway, first world problems. So yeah, so now what we got to do is we got to find a way so that I can push the space bar and move the player up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a function or a method, depending on how you want to call it. Hey Trollface. So I'm going to say define go up. Okay, so when we go up, what go up does is very, very simple. It changes our dy. Okay. Yep, keyboard keys. So it changes our dy. So whatever our dy was, we're going to add something to it. So I'm going to say player.dy plus equals, and I have no idea what number to put here. I'm going to try 5 and see what happens. Okay. Now the second thing I have to do is keyboard binding. Okay. This is how I connect the key, the space bar in this case, to the function. So the first thing I got to do is I got to type win.listen. Okay, and that win comes from here. So if you did something silly like called it something else, it's supposed to be matching this. And then win.onKeyPress. Okay. Now if you're on Python 2, it might be on key by itself. Okay, but I'm on Python 3, so I'm going to use onKeyPress. Then I'm going to put here the function name, go up, comma. Notice I did not put parentheses. Do not put the parentheses here. That's a key point. Okay? And the key I'm going to use is space. Now I don't know if it's a capital S or a small s, so I'm going to test it. I got an error. Okay, so I got an error, so it's small s. Now Python 2, it might be a big S. I can't remember. I think it might be a big S. So let's try that again. Oh my gosh, it's working. So you can see I hit the space bar and now it's bouncing. Now it's not bouncing quite as fast as in the real Flappy Bird, so I'm going to double the gravity and I'm going to increase this a little bit. And again, I just got to play with the numbers to kind of figure out what works for my machine. Yeah, I'm going to make that a little bigger. Let's see if that helps. Ooh, that's way too much. Yeah, I know you can't see it because it's off screen, but you really just got to play with it and find the numbers. And once we add stuff, probably the speed will change a little bit anyway. Ooh, that's too much. So that's about what we wanted, I think. Okay, so we can run with that, I think. Then we can play with that for now. Okay, so let me review. Here's what we got. We've got our screen set up. Remember, Win Tracer stops the screen from updating. And then down here inside of our while true loop, we sleep for a little bit so it doesn't run too fast. Again, you may not need this. You may need a smaller number. You may need a bigger number, depending on how fast your computer is. We'll update the screen. We add the gravity to the player's y speed, which is dy. Then we update the player's location. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to go ahead and put that up on GitHub here for you. So if you're having trouble or you're just joining us, so you can get to where we are. So let me go to upload. And I really should learn how to do GitHub properly, I know, but I haven't needed it yet. It's going to cause problems, I'm sure, someday. All right. Next update. So we say added space bar. Okay. So if you go to that GitHub link, it should be ready just about now. Okay. And I'll put that link back into the chat one more time just so you can get to that. Okay, so next up is we've got to deal with the pipes that come over and that our player has to avoid. So let's think about this one. Now I'm going to try not to do this all fancy. I'm just going to try and do it all easy because I like easy. So what I'm going to do is I want to get one set of pipes working. Okay. So if I get one set of pipes working, then it's a very, very simple matter to add a second set of pipes, a third set of pipes, etc. Oh my gosh, the wind is really picking up here. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say pipe 1, very original, equals, it's also going to be a turtle, dot turtle. Making zebra, you failed. What happened? Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy all this stuff here. And I'm going to change all this from pipe 1 to player 1. Or from player to pipe 1. Yeah. Call it copy, paste, 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 paste. I'm going to make them green. I'm going to use the square shape. And I'm not sure which one's which, but I think what I want is for this to be much taller. So I'm going to try 12. And it should be in the center for now. And its dy never changes, but its dx is going to change. So let's say -3, it moves. Okay, so let's test that. Oh, that was bad. Okay, so here's what I have so far. All right, so this pipe was supposed to be vertical. Turtle not coming to first when hit the pipes. Okay, I have no idea what that means. So again, Zebra, if you want to like upload your code to Pastebin like I showed you, I'm happy to take a look. Otherwise, I can't help you with that. Lala, tell your brother I said thank you very much. But I might fail on this, so we'll never know. So the width is actually the height, which is kind of weird. And the length, make it 3. So let's make it bigger. Let's make it 3 times 6, 18. Okay, that's a little bit more what we wanted. Okay, so now I don't want this here. I want to put this pipe up top a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to move it up. So I'm going to say go to 0 and I'll say 100. Okay, thanks, Lalit. Hi, Darren. Welcome. Okay, still not up high enough. And almost. And we'll say 250. And there we go. So that gives us our top pipe. Thanks, Darren. Hope you like it. Okay, so pipe 1, and how do I do it this way? When I do pipe 1, let's see, top, and there's got to be a better way to do this, I know, but I think this is easy enough for beginners to follow without confusing things too much. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, because I'm kind of lazy. That's what I always tell people. And I'm going to change pipe 1 to pipe 2. Okay. And instead of a plus 250, I'm going to put it at minus 250. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, making zebra. I'm not sure why you're talking about that. We haven't gotten to that point yet. Atomization. That's so much code just for that. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. Now again, if you're using a more efficient game engine or something, you might not need all this stuff. I actually made my own little game framework that simplifies a lot of this stuff. But I think there's value, atomization. I think there's value in learning this basic stuff. But I could be wrong. Oops. You're right, that should be pipe 1 down, sorry. And I'm actually going to use bottom instead, but yeah, thanks for that. This is what happens when I multitask. I'm not that good at it. Never have been. Okay, so let's give this a shot. F5, okay. And I think, so we got that. So let's see if we can play with that a little bit. So what we want to do now is we move the player. So I'm going to say move the pipes. And again, just to get back to atomization, because that's like really a good point, is this code could be made much more compact, but it's going to be a bit difficult for the beginners to follow. So I do it this way because it's a bit more beginner friendly. When you get more advanced, you know, what I should be doing is I should be using classes and objects and things like that. And it's just, yeah, it's just too hard for beginners. I try to focus on beginners because that's who I teach. So when I'm making this right now, in my mind, I'm thinking of one of my students. And my students might be 10 years old. My students might be 11 years old. So I'm really trying to think of something that they could understand and to keep it as simple as humanly possible for them. Okay. So anyway, back to this, move the pipes. So now what I got to do is I'm going to say pipe 1 dot top dot dx plus, or actually minus, well, let's see if we can do, so the dx is negative, so it'll move left, so we'll say plus equals, no, that's not right. Apologize. So x equals, so basically I'm copying this kind of section of code here. So x equals pipe 1 top dot x core, x plus equals pipe 1 dot top dot dx dot set x to x. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing. And since it's just a couple lines of code, I'm going to go ahead and just copy this, and hopefully it'll work. But usually I tell my students, you know, do something, test it. Why do I keep doing that? 1 bottom bottom. Okay, let's try it and see what happens. Error. Pipe 1 tip. That is not correct. It's pipe 1 top. Naturally. Oh, that's pretty cool. Ooh. Okay. I don't know if you caught that, but the pipes are moving left. Maybe a little too fast. Let's do -2 for now. And okay, I'm gonna run that and try and get it on the screen again. Okay, so you can see that. Alrighty. Yep, says tip on line 84. Thanks. And you are welcome, Coburn Animates. I do it as often as I can. I'm a very busy person, but I have some time this weekend because there is a typhoon here, and I cannot go anywhere. The trains are shut down, buses are shut down, all the public transportation is shut down here in Tokyo. So I am home for the next 12 to 24 hours. Anyway, okay, so we got our pipes moving. Now here's kind of where the hard part comes in. Is the collision between the turtle and the pipe. So this is where it's a little hard. I got to give it a little bit of thought. So if we think about that, let me do something here. Give me a second. Let's do a little bit of planning. And Python is. So I'm just going to get a screen up here for us, something we can kind of write on, and Google Drawings. Okay, so Flappy Bird. This is the part that I haven't quite figured out yet, but we'll get to that together. So basically, if we got Flappy Bird, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to use some shapes here to account for the bird. Do we got anything bird-like? Nope. All right, so we'll use a smiley face, and we will use a couple of squares and shapes. Okay, so and copy the. Okay, so basically this is the situation we got. We got our bird that goes up, our bird that goes down. Now the bird, we defined its x coordinate as. What do we define it as? -200. So the center of the bird is -200. Okay. And now the center of this is going to be moving. Okay, so what we need to know is we need to know this y coordinate and this y coordinate. Okay, oops. Sorry about that. I'm going to copy and paste that again. And that's going to change depending on the height of the pipe. And again, that's why in some ways, it's easier to do it with object-oriented style, but this is going to make it a little more difficult to do it this way. But we'll try it. So basically, if these guys move over here, okay, so this is one case. This is where the x-coordinates are similar to each other. I'll talk about that in a second. And then the y-coordinate here is above here, and the y-coordinate here is below here. Okay. So what I gotta do is I gotta do basically a little bit of math and kind of decide what the correct numbers are. Now, yeah, this is kind of a challenge actually, but anyway. So again, let me go ahead and upload what I've got for people that are just coming in, and so hopefully nobody minds me doing that every once in a while. It's courtesy. And so Flappy Bird. I'm going to go ahead and upload this again, the most recent version, and moving pipes 1. Yikes. Okay, give me a second here, and let's give it a shot. Flappy Bird. All right, so copy, and I'm going to go back to our live stream. So again, link to current code. So again, if you're getting behind or you're having trouble, you can download the current code from here. Okay, so this is kind of where I'm not 100% sure how to do this. Coburn animates, you are 100% correct. I cannot argue with that kind of logic. Check for collisions with pipes. Okay, so let's do pipe 1. And again, this is not an efficient way to do the code, but this is how we'll do it to help kind of beginners, and we'll go from there. Okay, so what we got to check for first. So we have to look for the x-coordinate. Okay, so is the x-coordinate of the pipe. Now we're not going to check and see if they're the same, because they're only the same if it's exactly, in this case, minus 200. Okay, so we got to look for this case here. Line 85. Oops, thanks. Appreciate that. Missed that. Good stuff. Delete that. Okay, so thank you, Zebra. So if player dot x core plus 30, and I'm going to explain where I got that number from in a second, is less than pipe 1 dot x core minus, and I'll explain all those numbers in a second. No, it's the same. Minus 30. Okay. So what this does, okay, so let's say print x collision. Okay, so hopefully, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these over a little bit. I'm going to move these over quite a bit to the other side. So I'm going to say 300 to give me a little time to get them on the screen for you. Okay, so I'm going to do F5, and I got an error. Pipe 1 is not defined. Great. Pipe 1 and top. It doesn't really matter if it's top or bottom because they're going to be moving together. But let's try it again. Okay, so you can see I've got an error. It says X collision even though that's clearly wrong. So what did I do wrong? Is should be greater than. Yeah, so Zebra, it's definitely pipe 1. I'm just going to use top, but it doesn't matter. Hemanth, am I good at algorithms and data structures? No. I mean, I'm okay at some of them, but Yeah, I don't know them all. I've taken a class on it, and I'll be taking another class at some point here in the future. It's really interesting stuff, but yeah, I don't know it that well. Okay, so, oops. And you see X collision, which is what we wanted. But we got two conditions. So what happens here is now there's a little bit of X overlap, but now it still thinks there's X overlap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say and I'm lazy, so I'll copy this. It's going to get a little bit long. Now we're looking at the left side of the player. So it's minus 30. And the right side of this is plus. So player square is it greater than or less than? It's less than. So this is probably the hardest part, at least conceptually. So if the player's left side is less than this side, okay, then there's a collision on the X. Okay, so let's try that again. Gosh darn it. Collision, and hopefully the collision stops. So check that. Else print steps. No X collision. Okay, and I'm going to change the gravity a little bit because that's really getting on my nerves. We'll have to change it back later. Okay, so no collision, no collision, no collision, collision, no collision. Okay, it's a little hard to see because the turtle went off the screen, but so that part is working. So, but there's two conditions here. Put them in brackets just in case. That is actually very, very good advice. Let's go ahead and do that. Sometimes you'll get some weird errors with that. So thanks, Jazzler. That is good. Good, solid advice. Okay, so now the second condition, okay, is that the top has to be, if the top of this is greater than the bottom of this, or if the bottom of this is less than the top of this, you've got a collision, you've got a dead bird. Okay. So now this is the hard part because I'm not 100% sure the numbers on this one. So might have to do a little bit of math on this one. So we said stretch 18. Okay, so cheers, bud. So 18 times. So basically, yeah, so where those numbers came from, sorry, I forgot about that, is by default, the turtle shapes in Python are 20 pixels by 20 pixels. So 20 by 20 square, okay? But since we've stretched them, we stretched this 3 times. So that means it's 60 by 60. So half is 30, half is 30, top half is 30, bottom half is 30. Okay? Here we've done 3 times width, so this is 60 in width. That's where the 30 came from. But then we've done 18 here, so that is 18 times 20 is 360. But I'm not sure how much is off the screen. So let's just kind of play around with the numbers a little bit. Yeah, if it hits the pipes, we're almost to that point. So where are we at here? Okay, so now if player.yCore plus 30 is greater than, so the top is greater than pipe1 dot top dot yCore minus, so because the yCore is the center of this object, so it should be minus. So we got to figure out the height. I said it was 360. Let's try 180. Okay. Print collision. So I'm just going to test that and see if the numbers work. Oops. Pipe 1. Top. Okay, so pipe 1. So we're almost there. Pipe 1. Try it again. Collision. Okay, so that worked. Again, I'm not sure how accurate it is. Yep. Thanks, Zebra. But we can go with that. Let's go with that for now. And then so if it's that, or I'm just going to copy this. As I said, I'm kind of lazy, but I know I'm also lazy, but I also know it works. So that's important as well. So now we got to check the bottom of the player is less than the top of the bottom pipe. It's complicated, doesn't it? Plus 180. Let's try that and see what happens. And now I'm going to go ahead and put the gravity back and to 0.005. Let's try that. Again, you really just got to play around with the numbers a bit. And I am missing a colon. And let's try that again. Oops. Collision. Okay. Ooh, cancel. I don't want to close that. I almost shut down the window. That's not good. Okay. Well, I'm not 100% sure if this is quite right, but here's what we can do to test that. I'm going to put this up a little bit back to 1. And what I'm going to do is move the pipes, and I'm going to say return pipes to start. Okay. So if pipe 1, top, doesn't matter which one, dot x core is less than, let's say, negative 350, pipe 1 dot top dot set x to 350, and then also pipe 1 dot bottom. So if these pipes here, they go off the screen, I'm going to reset them back here to off the screen, and they should keep coming this way. So that way we can keep testing it. I hate this. I really got to fix that part. Okay, so that's what we want. We want to see that the pipes keep coming, right? The bird, I have no idea what the bird is now. I'm going to fix that too. So let me play around with this a little bit. I find this, like, this tuning stuff abominably boring and annoying. Okay. Ooh, collision. Oh, I almost made it too. Okay. And then what I might do is here I can say, well, we'll get to that later. Okay, so yeah, let me kind of play around with that a little bit. It's a little slow, so I need the gravity to be a little faster, a little heavier, I guess. 0.1, and then I need the going up to be a little higher. So let's try that. Nope. It's a little too high. Let's make this a little higher. So again, I'm just kind of playing around with the numbers. Again, I'm sorry it's a little bit off the screen, but that's getting there. Yeah. Okay, I know what I'm doing wrong here. So player dy plus equals 18. I need to set an upper limit. So if player.dy is greater than 18, player.dy equals 18. So basically, this is the fastest it can go up is 18. Okay, because it's just going too far. Ooh, collision. Okay, so you can see the collision's working. Yeah, okay. What we need to do is we need to see no collision, right? So it's hard to tell here. Else, no print, no. Yeah, Jazzlo, I can do that. Yeah, there's plenty of alternatives to the way I'm not saying this is the best way to do it. I'm not even saying it's a good way to do it. But this is a way that I found that my students can understand really, really clearly. Using Booleans with 10, 11, 12-year-olds, they seem to have a little bit of trouble with that one. So I just do it this way, and then I use break instead of, or exit instead of the way you're doing it. But the way you're doing it is perfectly valid and probably even a better one. Okay, you're welcome, Fantero. Okay, so we got to ask for a sec to catch up. Okay, while you guys are catching up, I'm gonna go do two things. I'm gonna go ahead and upload the current version to GitHub. So if anybody's just joining us, I'll put the link in there in a second, and that way you can just jump right into where we're at right now. Or if you're having troubles, yeah, it's just so we're not getting too frustrated. Let's see, pipe reset and basic collision. Okay. And so 1 second. And okay, so current version is now in GitHub. If you have the link, if you don't have the link, here it is. If I can find the right window. I hope I don't close that accidentally. Okay, Jazzlo, good to hear. And for anybody else that's not up to date, you can download the code here. And I'm gonna grab a drink quick. Yeah. Again, like I said, I try. This is not the way I would personally program this. It's a bit simplistic. It's hard to maintain because you can see all the weird stuff I'm doing. There's other ways to do these things a bit more efficient, but I think again for beginners, this is probably the best, at least starting approach. Okay, so let me just run this one more time, make sure it's working how I expect it. Okay, got a collision, no collision, collision. Okay, it looks pretty well like it's actually doing what we want it to do. Let's see if I can get through there with, yeah, I think it's too powerful. Again, your computer may be a slightly different speed, but let's make this 12. 5. Yeah, it's a bit more manageable. Yikes. Okay, so we got no collisions. Okay, so it's basically working. I don't know if we're ever gonna get through that hole like that, but anyway, let me try this a little differently. Well, we'll just leave it the way it is. It's not super duper important. So that was my first pipe. Now here's the problem: is because of the way we're doing this, it's gonna get a little bit messy. As somebody mentioned, it's a lot of code. I can go ahead and do this. I can make a pipe 2 and 2 and I wouldn't have pipe 2 start at the same spot. Maybe I'll have that one start at let's say 600. Okay. And 600, and then maybe change the height of that to let's move this one up a little bit. So 250, make that 300, and make this one minus 200. So basically, it's going to be the same thing. Now they'll probably look a little weird. And then when I go down here is move the pipes. So I just copy this. Okay, and then this should be pipe 2. So pipe 2, 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 pipe 2. Okay, so I've copied all the code for that. Uh-oh, what'd I do? Yeah, you can use random zebra. You can go ahead and do that. That's something I would add later myself, but yeah. Sorry, which line was that? Coburn animates. 22 top, pipe 2 top. I think it's okay, no? Ah, okay. Pipe 1. Okay, so saying, just make it a little clearer, move pipe 2. Make this move pipe 2, pipe 1. So we have our code set up. And I'm going to check for collision. Cheers, buddy. So check collision with pipes, pipe 2. So I'm going to have to go pipe 2. Now the number's going to be a little different. No, actually maybe not. Player, let's try it. So pipe 2. Well, if they're the same height, then the number should work. Okay, let's try it. See if we get an error. Yep. Pipe 2 bottom is not defined. And line 120. Line 120, so up here. Ah, okay, that's what you're talking about. Pipe 2 bottom. Okay, let's try it again. Oh my gosh, here we go. Okay, something went wrong. But it's a start. It's a little bit lower. Okay, so pipe 2 bottom is missing. Let's see what we did there. Pipe 2 bottom. Ah, I got minus 200. I don't know if that matters. There you go. Thanks. Yeah, it's funny, man. It is really hard to do this and talk at the same time. I find it very challenging. Just not that bright. There we go. So that one's up a little bit. Oops. Okay. Okay. I think what I'm going to do with the turtle is I'm going to make one little change to the turtle. I'm going to keep the turtle really small. So up here, where I took the player and I changed the size, I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of that line. I'm going to keep the player really small. So since I've made the player small, I've got to change all these numbers from 30 to 10. Now again, the way I did this is not the most efficient way. There's much better ways to do that. But for the player, you got to change that to 10. For the pipe, it's still got to be 30 though. So anywhere you got player plus 30, it's going to be 10. 10. Yeah. Well, you know, I was playing the game, Coburn Animates. I was playing the game and like, it's really fast. Like here, let me pull that back up here. That's pretty sad. All this coding and look how much better this looks. But you see, yeah, I don't know if that's like, yeah, I'm terrible at this. Yeah, it's hard to get those numbers right. Anyway, let's give this a shot and see what's happening here. So now, oh, yeah, I think that's gonna be, oh. Yeah, maybe like that a little lower, huh? So now we're getting a little bit. I make gravity a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna let's try making gravity a little bit bigger. And no collision, good. No collision. Oh my gosh, I just made it. Oh my gosh, that's too much. Okay. The other thing I want to do is go back to, where did I put that at? Yeah, 12 is a little too high, I think. Let's make that 8. Is that what you're talking about? Oh my gosh. His hand's like a baby. Ah, it's a baby flying turtle. Okay, so I think the collisions are working pretty well. So that makes me happy. Okay. Now the other thing I don't like that second one is a little bit off the screen. So either what I got to do is I got to change the size to make it longer, or do it like that. But let's just leave it as it is for now. Hey John, so let me go ahead and upload this because there's quite a few changes there, and that way if anybody wants to drag along or is having some trouble, we can do it that way. Let's see, drag that over. So let's see. Okay, kind of working. That's what I'll call my commit. You guys just give me like 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute. I just got to grab a drink. I'm really thirsty actually right now. So I'll be back in less than a minute. Alrighty, I'm back. So, okay, so let's do a couple other things. We need to do scoring. So let's do scoring here. Yeah, so let's do scoring. So to put the score on the screen, we're going to need to... Actually, there's one thing. Here's what we need to do. It's driving me nuts. The player... Okay, bottom border. Okay. So if the player.yCore is less than, let's say what was the height of the screen, did we say? The height of the screen was 800. So that means if the height of the screen is 800, that means the bottom border is minus 400. Okay, so plus there's a little bit size, so minus 390, let's say. So if the is less than 390, so player.dy equals 0, and player.setY 390. Okay. So let me show you what this does. Okay, I'll go slow, Jazzle. You go and catch up, bud. Okay, and I just made a big mistake. Let's try that again. Set it to not 390, negative 390. Coburn Adamates, you are very, very welcome. I thank you for the kind words. This is the thing I enjoy doing, and okay, so that stops it at the bottom. Ooh. No collision, that's what we wanted. Okay, so I think the collision thing's working pretty well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this is coming out. Yeah, okay, collision. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to have the scoring. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make a pen. Not to call it pen, but that's what I'm going to call it. So pen equals turtle.turtle. Okay. Actually, before I even do that, let's get the scoring working. So this is how I tell my students to think about it. Okay, so initialize game variables. Okay, so I'm going to say the score equals, actually, or I can even do this. I could say player.score equals 0. And then what I want to do is to print the score. So print score dot format, oops, parentheses, quote dot format, pipe bottom and screen. Yeah, there is a gap. We'll come back to that a little bit later. I hope. Okay, so you can see here my score is 0. Okay, so basically what we want to do is, if the game's running, okay, well, actually we're going to get rid of this. Okay, so what we'll do, elif, let's say pipe 1.top.xcore is less than, xcore plus 30 is less than player.xcore minus 10, and score plus equals 1. I'll think about that for a second. Well, it's not going to work quite right, but let's try it. Okay, so watch what happens here. Score is not defined. Duh. Player score. Okay, let's try it again. Score go up. Okay, it may have gone up. We didn't print it. Duh. And then I'm going to go ahead and print the score somewhere. There we go. And again, this is just for testing. We'll put it on the screen here in a second, I hope. I think this is going to be what we need. I'm going to put it in there. Yeah, I hadn't thought this one through. My score did not go up. Ah. Let's think about this one. Okay, so let's put that back. Gigs. So the score goes up if top x score plus 30 is less than the player x score minus 10. That's got to be right, no? Okay. Well, if anybody sees what's wrong here, let's try this. Player x score. Ah, okay. Got it. It should be an elif. Should be if. Now we're going to get an error. Not an error, we're going to get a weird little thing's going to happen here. And there we go. See how our score keeps going up? Okay, so I don't know the best way to fix this one, but here's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to say that I'm going to use pipe 1. I'm going to say pipe 1 top dot value equals 1. Okay. I'll say pipe 2 dot top or underscore top dot value equals 1. Okay. So watch what I do here. Plus pipe 1 top dot value pipe 1 underscore top dot value equals 0. Okay, so what I've done, okay, is I've said that pipe 1, its value is 1 because we want to get 1 point when it goes past, and then once it goes past, we set the value to 0, so it's not going to change the value anymore. Okay, so let me try that. Okay, so my score's still 1. collision. Okay, but now what's going to happen when I go through pipe 1 again? The score is still 0. So what I got to do is when I reset the pipe and I return it to the start, I reset the value. Pipe 1 top.value equals 1. Okay, so when it comes this way, the value is 1. I get past it. The 1 goes to the player. Value is 0. Goes off the screen. Comes back. Value is 1 again. Okay, so I just kind of keep going, following through on that pattern. And I'm going to do the same thing with pipe 2. That goes into return pipes to the start. Where's that at? Pipe 1. Pipe 2. And I'm going to go down here, check for a score. Now you see how I keep repeating code, and this is an absolute no-no when you're coding. This is horrible coding. So I'm going to show you how to get around that eventually. So just give me a little time here. So let me test these now. Flare. 1, 2. Is there a problem there, Jazlu? Is there an error? Yeah, you've got player.ycore and then you've got pipe 1. It's got to be pipe 1 top or pipe 1 bottom, and pipe 2 top or pipe 2 bottom. Okay, or you're telling me that I made a mistake somewhere. Okay, so let's see if our score goes up. Okay, 1, 2. Ooh, collision. 3. I still got the point. We'll fix that in a minute too. 5. Feel good. 6. 7. Okay. Alrighty. So let's deal with. You need to. Yeah, Jazlu, when you're following a tutorial with someone, don't change the names. It's just going to cause problems. It makes it really hard for that person to help you, and it makes it really hard for you to follow along. I think that this might be part of the reason why you keep asking me to slow down. Just a thought. Because my students do it all the time. They change the names of everything, and then they get confused because the names that I'm using are different to the names that they are using. And yeah, when you're really fast at stuff, you can do it, but when you're new, it's really hard. Anyway. Yeah, give them the code. That's a good idea, Zebra. Thanks. So I'm going to go ahead and update the code on GitHub again. And is anybody actually downloading the GitHub code, or am I just wasting my time? Either way is fine, but I think I'm hoping that this will help people who are coming in late. So let's see what we do here. Collisions, and what's it called? Crikey. Scoring. Okay. And commit changes. Okay. So, almost done. Yeah, this is actually coming together a little better. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do this. It's actually harder than it looks. Yeah, this is a tougher one than I was prepared for. Okay. Good. Thanks, Jazlo. I appreciate the feedback on that. Okay, so let us take care real quick of collisions. So what do we want to happen when the bird hits one of those things? So I might say print, game over. Oh, Zebra, you don't have a laptop. Okay. Say print game over. So here's what I might do in this case. I might say print game over. I'm going to say win.update so we can see what's going on. And I might say time.sleep. Let's say we'll sleep for 5 seconds. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to reset things. Okay, thanks Zebra, appreciate that. Okay, Coburn Animates, thanks for stopping by, and you are very welcome. Enjoy your trip. I'm going to stay safe. Like I said, it is pouring down rain. but the really heavy winds we're waiting for. They're going to come in a few hours, I think. But I have plenty of food and supplies. So anyway, so we're going to sleep, and then what we'll do is we'll reset everything. So I'm going to say, let's say reset pipes. Well, let's reset the score. So say player.score equals 0. I think 2 seconds. All right, how about if we split the difference and make it 3? How's that? Reset the score, and we'll say, so we need to move the pipes. So move pipes back. So say pipe 1 dot top dot set x, and pipe 1 dot underscore bottom dot set x as well. And where were they? Pipe 1 started where? Let's see. Pipe 1 top 300 and 600. Okay, 300 and 600. So 300 and 300. And we'll do pipe 2. And we'll set that to 600 for now. So player, and the player, we have to move the player back to move player. So player dot go to, what was it, minus I think 200 and 0, and then player dot dy equals 0. All right, let's give it a shot. See what happens. It might be missing something, but we'll see. Oops. Stop. Game. Oh, you can't see game over. Game over. Reset. Oh, okay. Now we're making progress. Oops. Game over. Why did it not reset that time? Yeah. I understand. Okay, so it's kind of working. That's pipe 1. I also got to do the same thing for pipe 2. And you can see how this code is just getting harder and harder to maintain because of the stupidity of rewriting code. You never rewrite code like this. But this is how I teach it, and then what I'll do here at the end is I'll show you how to make it more efficient, okay, and to make it more maintainable. Okay, so let's let that hit, and game over. Score 0. Good. Ooh, am I gonna slide under there? Game over. Good. Okay, score 1. Score 2. Game over. Okay. All right, it's kind of working. Next, game over. All right, that's workable. Okay, so now let's put the score on the screen. Let's see here. So I was talking about earlier, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a pen. Okay, so pen equals turtle.turtle, pen.color, pen.speed is 0. We're going to say pen.hideTurtle because we don't need to see the pen, we just need to see what it's going to write. Say pen.color, we're going to make it 1, or sorry, white, so that's how it works in Flappy Bird. And I'm going to say pen.goto 0 and maybe 250. And then I'm going to say pen.write. I'm going to try this, see what happens. Score. When we start the game, the score is 0. Okay, so let's see if we got that on the screen. Okay, well, we got it. Yeah, so there's that. All right, let me try a couple things here. First thing I want to do is I want to take the pen and I'm going to put it, I'm going to define the pen first, because I want the pen to be on top of everything. I think that's the way the turtle module works. I could be wrong, but let's find out. I also need to do pen.penUp. Okay, it's still behind. I'm not sure how to fix that, to be honest, but we'll just have to leave it like that for now. I'm going to make it a little bit tighter. Oh, you want me to add high score? Jeez. Jeez. All right, let me think about it. give me one problem at a time here, bud. Let's see here. There's a couple things I want to get to before I sign off, and I got about another half hour or so. I don't know if we'll get that far, but anyway. So what I want to do is I'm going to go back to the turtle docs, and yeah, they're here. And what is that? I'll get rid of that. Go back to the turtle docs, and I want to find the right method. Control find and dot right. Okay, so this is where I can write something. Font. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this example code. I'm going to go here to write. Okay, so I'm going to put here score 0. Actually, in Flappy Bird, it's just a 0, right? There's nothing actually there. Line left font, Arial. I'm going to make it a really large font. 32, normal is good. Okay. So don't screw up. There's an extra set of parentheses here around the font part. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I thought so. Missing a parenthesis. Ah, 2 periods. Duh. Yes. Okay, that's much better. Okay, so we want our score to appear here. There's one thing I have not figured out how to change the level. Thanks, Zebra. Appreciate that. So what we want to do is the score. Okay. Instead of printing it, I'm going to say, I'm going to go back and get this line again. I'm just going to copy it. Score. Okay. And the score now should be, instead of 0, it's going to be, I think what I have to do is put str player.score. Let's just put player.score and see what happens. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to work though. Okay, it did work. Great. Okay. Now, oops. I want you to kind of take a look here and see what's happening. This is a weird quirk of the turtle module. I don't know if it's just the way it works. Anyway, to make a long story short, it prints on top of itself. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, before I update the score, here, I do pen.clear. And that will hide what was there and then write the new one. That's basically what I got to do, I think. We'll try it. Okay. It's complicated, Jazlo. Yeah, it's definitely getting there. But again, you know, it's something, if you watch it a few times, you might, you know, figure it out. If it's beyond where you're at, you know, that's fine. Yeah, again, the turtle module is not designed for game design. So if you're more comfortable with Pygame 0, definitely go ahead and use that. I would not hold that against you, for sure. But this is, again, I do think there is value in learning these types of basic things. Because if you can do this, then you can go to Pygame 0, you can go to something else like that as well. But yeah, or maybe just watch it again. You're not gonna get everything the first time. Okay, so shoot. Let's try that again. Shoot. Okay, 1 point, finally. 2 points. Okay, so we kind of got to work basically a working game here. 3 points. Ooh, getting good at my own game here. Okay, so we essentially have a working Flappy Bird game. A couple things I want to try and throw in real quick before I go. I do want to throw in a background image. Somebody mentioned that earlier. So I think that'll kind of make the game look a little bit nicer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to open up something called the GIMP, which is a funny name, but you can use whatever you want to use, but I'm going to use the GIMP. And so what I need to do is, this is a free software, you can download it, and what I'm going to do is I need to make an image the same size as the background. And so we said this window was 500 by 800. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, New, and we said width is 500, and the height is 800. I'm going to click OK. So there's my window. I'll give you the code in a minute, bud. So I'm going to go ahead and put the background in, and I'm going to go ahead and make that blue, because we want the sky. Let's see, sky, blue sky. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so now we got the blue sky. I'm going to go ahead and make some grass or something. I don't know where brown would be. Yeah, get some brown. Okay, that's good. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw a line. This isn't maybe not the best software for this type of stuff, but it does work. And I'm going to go ahead and just draw. Alrighty. So the ground. And maybe I want to make that a little bit smaller. I'll put this into the GitHub as well then in a bit. Let me finish this quick. And yeah, let me go ahead and make. And as you can see, I am not much of an artist, but you know, it's all good. So okay. Could have put some mountains in the background, but I didn't think about that. Okay, and then maybe I'll put some clouds in the sky. I feel like Bob Ross, if you know who that is. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. So, okay. I'm going to use this thing here. Okay, and there's my background. Very, very exciting. So I'm going to go ahead. Now watch what I do here. This is kind of important. I got to make sure that I save it as a GIF. The turtle module, for whatever reason, only accepts GIFs. And I'm going to call this background. Okay, so now I got to put that into the same folder. And desktop Flappy Bird. And I'll call that background GIF. And I'm just going to take all the basics. And there's my background. Now I hope my 1 isn't going to be on top of that. Actually, let me go ahead and fix that because that's going to drive me nuts. So I'm going to go back to my blue. Okay, and then go ahead and get the white again and make it a flag. No, I don't want to do that. So yeah, that's good. Actually, why don't we put the sun in there just in case. Click OK, and we can put the sun out here. And, okay, so this is our scene now. So I'm going to save that. I don't cancel. I need to file again. Export as. You got to make sure it is a GIF. So background.gif and export. And export. Good. Now I can close that. Discard changes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead into that folder and move the trash. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got my flappybird.py. I got my background.gif. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do win.bg. I think it's bg pick, and it's background, whatever I called it, background. .gif. It's got to be a GIF. So let me run that and see if it works, and then I'll upload it. Oh my gosh, it looks so much better now. So there is the Flappy Bird game. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you can kind of see it's kind of coming together. I'm terrible at this. I forgot to reset the score, didn't I? So let's do that when there's a collision. I know, Jazzly, that's really annoying. You can do it programmatically with the PIL module, but it's kind of a pain. That's another reason why like Pygame 0 are better in a lot of ways, because they accept so many more things. And I forgot to, let's see, clear the pen. Okay, pen.clear. Okay. Game over. Yeah, you can just add, if you want to add game over, you would just do something like this, pen.write. Let's see, where's that here? Oh, no. I don't want to do that anymore. I'll get rid of the print statements. Where is my pen? At the top, isn't it? There it is. So I'm just going to copy that line. And then down here, instead of printing game over, I'm going to have the pen write, game over. And I need to put that in the other part too. Oops. Right. Okay. So let's try that again. Here's one. And game over. Okay. That did not look so good. But let me fix that a little bit. So 16. So I forgot to clear the pen. And I need to do it twice. And pen.clear. And I'm just going to make the font a little bit smaller, because that was a bit too big. And actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say align. I'm going to try align center. I think that'll also fix things for us a little bit too. Well, Jazzlu, I cannot help you unless you share the code, man. This thing? All right, let's take a look here. Okay, so here is Jazzlu's code. He's saying he's gotten some problems here. Y core minus 1A. Okay, you have Y core. You need to put parentheses after Y core. You have parentheses here, but you don't have parentheses here. Okay, you got to be consistent. And Y core parentheses, and yeah. So if you have something that's working and you have something that's not working, you got to look at where the problem is. Okay. So try that. And let me run this again. And if it's working, I will upload a copy. Okay, so game over is working now. All right. So, okay, save. Now I'm gonna put that in GitHub. Yeah. And upload files. Okay, graphics added. Oh, that's what there's one graphic missing. Actually, let me go ahead and add the. I do have a bird image here that I was hoping to use, but let me open this and resize it, because I changed the sizes around a little bit. So I'm going to go to Image, Scale Image, and we want it 20 by 20. Okay, scale. Again, I'll upload this as well. So File, Overwrite. Okay. So I've got this image here as well. So what I got to do to use this image for my player Okay. And don't download the one that's in GitHub yet. Let me upload that first because I changed the size. So upload files. And let's see here. Okay, so now everything in GitHub is the same as I have. So what I gotta do is I have to register the shape. So register. So I say win.register shape, and it's bird.gif. Okay. So I've registered it with the window. Then here where it says shape, I type the same thing, it's bird.gif. Now if I run it, oh, okay, I can actually look at a little Flappy Bird now. Oops. Oh, gosh. Again, there's still a few logic errors. You can see there's a little bit of collision issue there, but it's kind of the gist of how it works. At least it's a good place to start. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Jazzlo, it happens all the time. It's really weird, man. Like, it happens to me, it happens to everybody. You can totally like see, you look at somebody else's code and you say it's right there, but when you're doing your own code and you're in the moment, you're just like, oh, you can't see it, and you can't see it, and you sit there. Sometimes you sit there for hours, and then it hits you or somebody comes along, and you're like, oh my gosh. But yeah, Zebra, that's totally the thing, right? They don't realize just from this this to PUBG is like a world of difference, right? Just out of curiosity, I'm going to update the Typhoon map and see if it's. You can't really tell, but when was this? So this was about an hour or so ago. So it's still getting closer. Still got some time until it gets really, really bad. Yeah. Anyway, a couple things I want to show you. As I was saying earlier, this code is like really, really. Yeah, you wouldn't really do it this way. I think this addresses a little bit of what Jazzlu is saying. This is how we code it, like from bare bones basic concept. So what I'm just gonna save a new one. I'm gonna say at this point the game is basically done. This was my goal today, was to get to this point. So it works. It's fairly simple. The code is not particularly complex. It's not easy in the sense, but every line is pretty straightforward. So a couple things I want to try at least improving it a little bit. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to call this Flappy Bird. I'll just call it Flappy Bird 2. It's not a very original name, but we'll call it that. Okay, so for Flappy Bird 2, what I want to try is the following. I want to try and get the code so that it doesn't. The code's all on my GitHub, but it's the same link that I've been using the whole time. Okay, so there you go. You go for it. So what I want to do is, we've got repeated code. Okay, move pipe 1, move pipe 2, check for collisions with pipes. If we want to add a third pipe, or if we want to add a fourth pipe, it would be just, our code would just get super duper long. We don't want to do that. Okay. Well, Jazzlu, you got to calm down. This is life. Okay. Why don't you print one of the error messages and we'll take a look at it. Okay. Instead of yelling in caps. All right. So what I want to do is, now again, if you don't know what any of this stuff is, you don't know, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list. Okay, and a list is a data structure that's organized. So I'm going to call it pipes. And I'm going to say it equals pipe 1 top, pipe 2, pipe 1 bottom, pipe 2 top, pipe 2 bottom. And notice these are square brackets, or brackets, whatever you want to call them. So what I'm going to do is, instead of... Actually, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. This might complicate things, but it might make it easier too. Is I'm going to make these a tuple. Okay. And also, Jazzle, you know, this is recorded. You can go ahead and watch it again. You can watch it on half speed, and just, you know, put my thing up next to your thing and kind of go down through and see what's going on. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken the pipes that we already created up here, and I put them into a list together as a tuple. Okay, so what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to get rid of all of the pipe 2 code. So I'm going to get rid of all pipe 2 code, which is all this stuff. Pipe 2, pipe 2. All right. So now I only have the pipe 1 code. Okay. Thanks, Jazzle. I have them once in a while. Now, watch what I do here. So after my player code, so it's called iteration, iterate through pipes. Okay, so for, we'll call this a pipe pair in pipes. Okay. Pipe, I'll explain this in a second, top equals pipe pair 0. This is going to blow your mind if you don't understand this stuff. Pipe bottom equals pipe pair 1. Okay, so let me explain that. So I've got I got this list called pipes. So for each of these pairs, okay, the top is here, the bottom is here. This is 0, this is 1. 0, 1. So where's that at? So for, where did I put that at? Asha. Okay, so now all of this needs to be indented. Okay. So everywhere I've got pipe 1 top, I now just do pipe. Pipe, 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 pipe. It doesn't matter if it's pipe 1 or pipe 2. Make this a little bit wider. Jazzlo, good to hear. So again, try not to get so frustrated. I know it's hard sometimes, but you just got to chill and work the problem. Pipe. Okay. Now this is the only part that's not going to work quite right. So what we can do, I think actually what I can do is just take that one out. We'll try this and see what happens. If it doesn't work, I'll fix it. This might simplify things though. Clear. So I'm getting rid of everywhere it says pipe 1 or pipe 2 because it's coming from the loop. Hey, Redstonier. Okay, good sign. Everything's moving. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's working. Game over. Resets. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay, so you kind of get the idea. The other thing I want to try is I want to add a third set of pipes. So what I just did was I basically took all the pipe code, okay, and made it so that it works for a general pipe, either a top pipe or a bottom pipe. And then I put that information in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do up here now is I'm going to make a third pipe. And show you just because now that I've done that, I can add as many pipes as I like. And I could even take this code and put this into a loop and add 100 pipe. I mean, there's really just no limits to what can be done. Control Z. But just kind of giving me a taste of what's possible. Again, because people were saying earlier about, oh, that's a lot of code. It is, and I've written it inefficiently because it's easier for beginners to understand. So this pipe 3 is going to go at 900. 900. Okay. And so then down here, all I have to do to add the pipes to the game is just go ahead and put them in here, which is pretty cool. Pipe 3 top and pipe 3 bottom. Okay, so let's, oh, actually, pipe 3 bottom is not defined. What did I do wrong? Oops, that should be bottom. And the other thing I want to do, I made one other thing I need to change. The y coordinate was 300. Okay, so the y coordinate for the top of pipe 1 was 250. So it's 250 minus 250. And then 300, I'm going to try and make that 280. And minus 220. And I'm going to make this 320 and minus 180. And let's see what happens. Yeah, pipe 3 bottom. Thanks, Zebra. Zebra is definitely paying along and paying attention. So thanks for that. Yeah. Okay, 1. There is pipe 3. Okay. Oops. Okay, I think where this is going wrong. Again, it would take a bit more coding to fix this, but I think what I've done here is you want to move the pipe. If there's a collision, you want to move the pipe. Let's try 450. Or you can do a random number. Somebody mentioned random numbers earlier. But I think I'm just going to end it here because it's been 2 hours and I am getting older. So there's 1. Game over. I know I did wrong. Okay, they're still too close together. So pipe 3, 900. I did 900. 600. And 300. Okay, well, it's just the way the math works. Oh, because I got one wrong. Okay. All right. I think that's about it. I think that's going to be the end of this game for the day. It's been 2 hours. I'm glad it worked out, and but I need some rest. Still game over after bird restart. That one. Yeah, let's fix that. That's an easy one. So game over. Update. Okay, and then we need to reset the pen. Now you notice now that there's just one set of code, I only need to fix it in one place. So I'm going to say pen.clear, and I'm going to say, and we go back to a score 0. And anytime you make a change, of course you're going to test it. Okay, let's die here. Game over. And back to 0. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I know where I screwed up. Okay, and this has got to be fixed. So this should be, let's make this 450. or you can make it 6. I mean, you just gotta kind of play with the numbers to get something you like. So this is return the pipes at the start. That's why they're so close together. And zebra's happy. And again, there's a couple things I can't quite figure out because of the overlapping thing. I don't know how to fix that in the turtle module. It's as far as I know, it's just a weakness of the turtle module. This is a little bit off. You know, we can still play with the numbers, or you just make them longer and then kind of fix the numbers around. You know, making a demo game like this is pretty simple, but getting it really polished takes a long time. It's a much bigger challenge for sure. Oh, now those are overlapped. It's kind of cool actually. Makes it an interesting challenge, I think. But yeah, I think you get the idea. Hopefully you find this more helpful than hurtful. I hope. And I do appreciate everybody stopping by. I appreciate the likes, comments. Let me again put this last final version into GitHub, and I'll share the link one last time for people that might have missed it. And so upload files. Oh, wrong folder. Go back. Flappy Bird. And upload files. So upload Flappy Bird 2 into there. So final version. And again, I didn't use functions. There's all kinds. I didn't use functions really. I didn't use classes. I didn't use objects for the most part. There's really quite a lot that can be done. But again, I'm trying to stick to kind of a beginner level. And again, the level that my students could understand at the point that they're at. So yeah, so anyway, thanks again for stopping by, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Oh, code. Yeah, I put the link there like a zillion times, dude. Copy. The link is here. Code link. Okay, so you can download that off of GitHub. Okay, everybody, it has been 2 hours of coding. It's been a good time. I think I learned a little bit. I hope you learned a little bit. And yeah, it was cool. And thanks for following along. And thank you for the feedback. I definitely appreciate it. Take care. Hope to see you someday soon. Have a good one.